That was Hanwha Life versus T1 game number 2. Hanwha Life making this series even. Was there a huge difference in terms of draft? Nothing really special. We had the similar style of game number 1. Hanwha Life had the team fight comp and T1 had a side lane comp. This time around it was Affiliates versus Ezreal, and T1 locked in Jax as a counter into Wukong. So during the laning phase, people thought that this can be a counter champ as Hanwha picked up a solo kill up against Dudu, but in the later phase, the contribution for team fights was so different in terms of the top laners. Even though Jax was having a lane kingdom during the early phase, Wukong did so much work all throughout the later team fight. T1 even in Tam Kench, but they weren't able to solidify their macro around the side lanes. Well, in game number 1, T1 kind of refused to take the fights that Hanwha Life was looking for, but this time T1 was actually answering to Hanwha Life and they were losing most of it.
T1도 나름의 노림수는 있었던 것 같아요. 여기서
let's take a look at this team fight. Karma used his mantra Q on Viper Affiliates and Cuz kicked Nautilus looking for a knockup onto Affiliates, but Viper sidestepped away. So Jack failed to reach out to the AD carry. So T1 got the losing edge of this trade since Wukong just started his party for the fight. Well, Trundle was so low, he was almost dead, but he managed to survive, so there was no way for T1 to steal away that Dragon or win that fight. To be honest, Affiliates has better ability over Ezreal in terms of team fight without poke, so there was no reason for T1 to commit so hard for that 5 versus 5 fight. Well, even though T1 took the split push comp, this time they made a bad decision to commit for a lot of fights. And we had a very unique ending of this series here. So Hanwha Life, they rotated very quickly to mid lane. At first, they did not plan to this backdoor, but according to the mic track, actually, as they were poked out, rather, Lian's made a call. Just we can go mid, we can end game. And Lian's told the players that I can stop the recall so you guys can keep pushing. So Lian's also said, I'm holding 3 players right here, so you guys can keep pushing, and the rest of the Hanwha Life players were asking him how many players are at the base, and Lian told them Ezreal made to the base, but Hanwha Life players, they were so confident that they got this, and they indeed was so outnumbered to take down the Nexus. So this was the personality or the color that the Hanwha fans were looking for its team. Even though the game got a little bit extended, Hanwha Life players were so concentrated, and also it was amazing to see Dudu make a comeback after such a hard game in game number 1. The player of the game for this game will be Dudu, who made it to keep his mental fortitude even though getting so bullied in game 1. He was down to 0-8 or 0-9 on Mordekaiser in their earlier game, but on this Wukong, even after getting solo killed, he kept so strong. So later on, he contributed a lot during team fights. This was a huge turnaround point for Hanwha Life. T1 players got a little bit overextended, committing for that tier 2 turret, and Dudu was able to wipe out all the rest of the T1 players.
많은 분들이 뽑으신 게 아닌가라는 생각이 듭니다.
So even though, yeah, indeed, Lee has made a very smart call for the last moment of the game, but Dudu all throughout the game was the key player for the game.
통해서 앞에 딱 세워주면 이즈리얼 특성상 그 분신을 뚫고 딜할 방법이 없기 때문에
And maybe Wukong can be a good counter into Ezreal because Ezreal cannot deal behind the clone of Wukong. So maybe T1 also has to keep that in mind. Then let's check out who will be the final winner of game number 3, Hanwha versus T1.
Thank you very much, G-Sun, as usual, for the translation of your final analyst desk for this evening. Because, of course, this is the deciding match between Hanwha and T1. For some reason, the media decided that Aphelios was the reason why Hanwha Life won that game.
Yeah.
I think that there was definitely a lot more impact by Wukong, but I also think just for the game-winning play, Lehens deserves a look in, to be honest.
Ooh, look who's back.
All right.
They were talking about how he thought Curry had a good game, and that means he's getting subbed out.
Yeah,
Efforts
get
coming
next.
in. And perhaps they want to play something a little bit different. You know, they were hovering Leona, which is a effort champion, and maybe Curry was like, I don't know, I'm not too comfortable on it. And maybe they want a little bit more of a deeper champion pool that a veteran should have. Well,
I mean, I don't know. If Curry was playing
More
Tom
than Curry.
Kench, then I don't know why Effort was ever subbed out, to be honest. Effort's very good at the Tom Kench as well, so maybe just wanted to get him some screen time. Maybe Effort's lackluster performance against DRX was something that they really did add some weight to. We, of course, disregarded a little bit because Keria is a terrifying opponent. But there you go. We'll see whether Effort is going to make the change required.
yeah, I think it's a interesting one. Because I don't think Curry had a terrible game or anything like that, but they want to make sure 100% that they win this game, and they're going to bring in their main roster for it. As T1 will re-enter here on the blue side. I don't think Hanwha Life this time around is going to give them TF, so they might let something else available, maybe a LeBlanc. Because I don't know if you want to let Ezreal go either, up against what Teddy just showed you.
Yep, Teddy was fantastic. I mean, I think Aphelios was a big problem as well, because it seems like the Ezreal versus Aphelios, it doesn't seem to matter how good the Ezreal is. In the end, the Aphelios does more. But that's, I don't know, maybe I'm just upset.
Yeah.
So Trundle's going to be banned away. That Ezreal, like you were talking about, once again, going to be the second ban. Same bans, except Set is replaced by Trundle, and Aphelios is going to be banned.
There you go, T1, you figured it out.
We did it. I actually thought that Aphelios, it was impossible to ban him or something like that. Like, maybe he's not in the ban.
Yeah, but Aphelios is 4-0 today.
Yeah.
Actually. Having a great night is that champion. They
Wait.
leave Set available because they had to ban TF.
Isn't he 4-1? Because he lost in the first game. Did he lose in the first game? Was that Kalista against Aphelios? It was.
Yes, it was. Okay, so he's 4-1. Did take one loss.
Because this is Ashe.
Or I guess. Yeah, 4-1. Okay.
So
we figured it out.
This is likely to deter T1 from picking Kalista. Ashe works pretty well into the Kalista, stops her from bouncing around as fast with the frost shot. And the Canadian dollar is just smashed in the Graves. Like it a lot. See whether that's going to be support set, because support set with something like Kalista certainly works, but Senna is another option. Teddy hasn't had the best track record with Senna, but still is pretty powerful. See what Cuz is going to do here, though. 5 seconds to go. Could just be Nidalee, but they do like pairing it with something like the Twisted Fate, Xayah. Okay.
It's been a while.
It has. This used to be the very standard blue side lock-ins.
Yeah.
Just everyone that looks like pink with some, cream background, and that's exactly what's happening here. Everyone collectively on the same page when it comes to style.
Are they all from Demacia?
I have no idea. We don't have our lore guru with us.
Yeah, lore specialist isn't here on the desk today.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask him later.
Indeed.
Tom Kench, all of a sudden, people are like, hey, remember this guy? He can devour people.
Lehens has been a pretty good one over his time in the LCK and beyond. So they are going to pick that one up. Not sure whether I like it, but there we go. Bottom lane's locked in. A flexible top lane, jungle, not support anymore because, of course, the Rakan is locked in. As the Wukong is taken away from Dudu. I actually like this. Of course, yeah, a large impact in game number 2. Jarvan taken away from Cuz is interesting. But he's going to deny sort of a favorite composition, which is like Jarvan Galio on top of these champions that are already here. It's a lot of team fight prowess. The Lovers duo. This is sending through a bit of a loop. We've gone back in time quite a few patches.
That we have. It's been a while. And you know what's great? Into it is the Tahm Kench. You devour anyone up that does get, well, anyone. I am talking specifically about Viper on Ashe, who does get charmed by the Rakan or rooted by the Featherstorm or anything else that is already dangerous in the opponent's composition. And now Sylas is going to be banned away here.
I wonder whether that means something like an Ornn is a possibility. Actually, I don't know. With the Trundle banned, Ornn does feel like a better idea. There's nothing stopping Hanwha from picking that one away. Maybe not wanting to use it into the set. I like this. Galio picked. Would have been something that would have worked quite well in the hands of T1. Not going to happen this time around. As that's a Zed. Probably not locked in. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Certainly, you know, a physical damage dealer against a melee matchup in the mid lane that is designed to be against magic damage is fun. Ornn is the less fun decision here, which will put Set in the jungle. And there's the Azir.
Wow.
Oh my, this is the most standard 2019 comp I have seen in a very long time.
Yeah. And to think T1 could have gone for something similar in game number 2, but instead they decided to draft a more fun composition. This is, you know, we can definitely have a little bit of a lull state with this one. As a last-second change, perhaps, into Karma. I actually do like the Azir, to be honest. But we're going to go with the Karma, it seems.
Oh, that means that they don't have a lot of magic damage. Ornn doesn't do quite enough, and you're basically support as Karma. I guess you do augment your AD carry a little bit if you do end up actually building the Ardent Sensor, but there's the Kayle. Canna's going to have a taste of his own medicine by the looks of things, unless Cuz is going to be playing jungle Ornn like a savant.
Whoa.
But are you actually going to play Set into Kayle and be happy about it? I'm not entirely sure, and I highly doubt that that is going to be the outcome.
Yeah, it's not going to happen that way. We are going to see jungle Set. I know literally Set is not very happy whenever Set does go into the jungle. He thinks it's more of a top/support champion.
Yeah, it does require some items.
Yeah. So, we'll see how that one does work out up against the Graves there in the jungle. As Dudu, he says, let me just carry you guys. Their first time up against Shadow and Prince, I wasn't actually... You know, I actually did enjoy his play. I thought he did show some nice moments, and I thought he was a capable player. Well, this game 3 against T1, this is the perfect time to prove it.
Oh, yeah.
For real this time on the Kayle.
And T1 need to prove to us that this extraordinarily standard front-to-back composition is going to work out. The Lovers duo back again. After seeing some fringe play, I guess, and there were a lot of AD carry bans, but with Kalista, like, Kalista Taric was available, for example. They could have just locked that in.
Yeah, true.
Whether that would have been better or worse, not entirely sure. But Kalista being picked into Ashe, not necessarily something that you want to do. So here we go. This is what they're up against. The Kayle, the Graves, the Galio, and then the Ashe Tahm Kench. It's giving me Praying Gorilla vibes on the bottom side of the map here for Hanwha Life, and that always makes me feel happy and sad at the same time.
Will we ever have that kind of duo again? Such an iconic one. We have...
I mean, I think
many that are similar.
I think Deft and Carrier is starting to become similar.
Deft Mata.
Deft Mata is definitely the OG. Although when they were in China, they didn't play together. Deft and Mako were a beautiful combination on
Deft
EDG.
and anyone.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Def's pretty good at this game.
From about 2014 onwards. But I think Hanwha Life had one of the most iconic duos in the bottom lane, and T1 did as well. I mean, Bang and Wolf, I think, will always be there in the history books as one of the best bottom lanes. Maybe not towards the very end, but certainly in their heyday.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know, Praying Gorilla from Rocks, but also Sangyun and Key from Rocks themselves, I guess, until they became Hanwha Life. As Faker is just bullying the Gargoyle just a little bit.
Yeah. So, the set jungle definitely does offer some pretty nice gank potential. The only thing is that once you get towards the later game, as you mentioned, it doesn't build up items or experience and levels quite as well as a solo lane. So it doesn't offer as much. You think about it in the support role, it becomes just full only tanky items and fulfills that role from there. But we'll have to see. I mean, I know that other regions are playing it now and again. They do like their set in general, just a great champion right now. So no surprise that the second it's not banned, it does show up here. If I look at the LCK ratings before today, it had 14 games of presence, not including the earlier series today, and it only got played twice. So it gets banned very often here in the LCK.
Don't know whether he quite deserves it. I think I'm in LS's camp when it comes to the set priority being a little bit strange. Even when we did see him, it wasn't super impressive. But that's okay. Cuz moving up towards the top side. The Graves is going to find him. Smite not quite available here from Cuz. He's just still going to wander forward and just walk in and steal away the big one. All right, all too easy.
Nice.
Would have thought maybe Graves would have gone for a little bit more as Dudu underneath his turret. I actually really like Kale as an answer to Ornn. Just because it's fun to opt in to the greed. And Dudu, of course, wanting to get quite a few levels under his belt before he really is oppressive.
Yeah, from 1 to 6, he's not going to be super happy, but he, well, she, I suppose, Kale, talking about here, is eventually going to, you know, get some range and be able to bully Ornn a bit. Although Ornn never truly gets bullied out of lane, anything that can sit there and farm alongside it and scale a bit better is going to feel pretty good about that. So we'll see how Dudu does do.
Dudu does do.
Yes.
Like it. I assume he does relatively well.
How he does Dududunga is very important for us. We need to figure that out. Cuz has been very in the face of the enemy jungler so far, although Cat isn't over there. He's over, he's ready, he's waiting for the Gromp. He knows the exact timing on it. And he's just gonna go ahead, steal that away.
Yeah, in the meantime, we've got a bit of a shove here towards the bottom side. Effort and Teddy moving on up, ahead by a little bit of farm, but that's going to be neutralized here by Viper. It looks like the Ashtam Kench, very, very comfortable underneath this turret. Hen's looking a little bit hungry, otherwise completely fine. Volley going to slow down Teddy a little bit. Grand entrance going to be denied by the Devour. And that's how this interaction should generally go.
Yeah, we're going to see that about 20 more times in this game. They're just going to go at it down there on the bottom side, and it's part of the reason why people aren't super happy whenever they see Tahm Kench, because a lot of the time he denies action, where it's like, oh, you wanted to fight? Well, actually, never mind. Tahm Kench is in the game. And especially when it was the Ezreal Tahm Kench and like Azir meta, it's like, you know, nobody's dying. Nobody's going to try to go for ganks because the percentage chance that they work is so low. It's like, we'll just farm up our jungle on our tank jungler to eventually support our teammate in the late game. And yeah, I'm glad that we've kind of moved a bit away from the 2019 meta. We've expanded a bit.
Oh dear. Faker expecting Miro to move underneath his turret. Does manage to get the cannon creep though. It's Cuz, not quite level 6, so not stopping any shows at this point. There's Canna, he is. So he's looking to try and take down Dududunga. Gets a teleport out of Miru. He's just going to move underneath his turret and laugh it off. Cad's here looking for a dive, but he might be a little bit too early as Cuz is going to move on over as well. And Cuz has a level advantage on a Graves. So I don't know what went wrong. There's been some dark technology employed, but Set is out farming and out leveling a Graves.
Yeah, we saw the steal on the top Gromp, or the Krug, and then we saw the steal on the Gromp on the right side of the map. And it's little stuff like that where Cuz recognizes exactly what the jungle matchup is going to look like and what Graves is trying to do. That makes him a great jungler. He's got amazing jungle sense, and he has great reads on his opponents. And so he's able to get in there, steal yet another camp away. He's got the timers on these things now. And he's using that to his advantage to say, okay, you want to sit back and farm? I'm going to just try to play you at your own game and try to steal your farm, as now he's mid.
Yeah, and it looks like Kanna's going to be able to grab himself a turret plate here top lane, which is pretty impressive. Just going to demolish that one, like you were talking about, Cuz moving towards the mid lane. Miru just going to justicely punch his way underneath his turret. And now we've got Rakan and Set looking glorious, very anime, and looking to try and steal away a blue buff.
Yeah, very flashy champions. Got two of them.
Faker going to be here as well. Smoke screen goes down, and Cuz is going to be able to get the smite. Steals it away from Cad. And I just don't understand how this Set jungle is dictating the pace of the jungle against a Graves. That shouldn't be how this goes. But as it turns out, it's what's happening here in this game.
Kind of, you know, even ascending beyond the champions, it feels like veteran jungler versus rookie jungler, you know?
Yeah.
And Cuz is proving that, hey, I'm not going to let you just have a free jungle this time around. He's being extremely proactive and aggressive everywhere on the map, and both jungles are his right now. He's taken so many camps from Graves. He's taken the Infernal Drake.
His whole jungle is full.
Yeah. How about the Rift Herald as well? It's Cuz land right now that we're living in.
Yep. And it's bountiful. It is definitely bountiful. As he's getting a little bit trolled by HLE here. It just keep, you know. Okay, there we go. And okay, another knockup. As another ulti comes out from Kanna as well. Cuz is going to spot out Cad, who does still have some fight left in him. Showstopper is up. Cuz can turn this if he would like to, but Kanna's going to have to go home. No teleport available. And now Dudu's going to get some time with this turret and actually get a decent lead when it comes to experience and gold. So that's going to be a lot denied. In fact, looks like Kanna doesn't want to give this one up. Faker moving on over with Cuz.
Yeah. We've been checking the bottom lane over and over here. There's just been nice pushing as, okay.
I'm not sure what that was out of Kanna, but they do manage to get the snare onto Dudu. Cuz is just going to take Sir Grompulus down. Cad's in here though, and Miru's going to join him. Heroic entrance is available.
This is all kind of stemming from Kanna being so low and refusing to back. He's been so low for so long that it's like, okay, I guess we just don't have a top laner. And he hasn't really been able to help out, especially with his ultimate down. So he's kind of just sitting up there. Finally went back. It does mean the enemy gets your blue, but you got to be happy with the way the jungle has been going with so far, and the lead that Cuz has been able to build for himself.
Yeah, we have to remember that Faker did manage to get Dudu's flash, which is good news. It means that Cuz can go for a wraparound gank if the Kayle is going to continue pushing. It's going to be a little bit dangerous as Faker inspires his way towards Miru, but unfortunately smacks a minion in the face with his inner fire. Nails that one though, there we go. Trying to get some damage mitigation, but able to get at least the experience from the cannon creep. Died in front of Miru though.
Yeah.
Want to risk it.
And T1 have just been slowly building up leads in all the lanes. This can be part of the problem when you draft lanes that are weakish, such as a Kayle or even like an Ashe Tom Kench, who sometimes can have, you know, if they have an aggressive jungler, they can actually make plays happen and get aggressive. But because Cuz has just totally made this Graves obsolete in even farming his own jungle, let alone, you know, attacking lanes. It's just been all push and aggression down on the bottom side. Like, the arrow comes in and they're like, well, we can't do anything. Nobody's here. Just trying to stop him from taking another plate. So bot's getting plates. Mid is ahead slightly here for Faker, winning in the CS farm in that kind of, you know, snooze fest resident sleeper lane. And then, of course, Ornn is always going to have a fun time up against pretty much any lane, especially against a weaker lane like Kale.
Yep, of course, the idea of picking Kale into Ornn is that they both sit back and farm generally, and you can see they both have sat back and farmed.
Yeah.
Can has tried to go aggressive. We've seen some fumblings and some decent trades as Teddy wanders through this brush. It is a bit invisible at this point in time. Why isn't it there, Veldis? Where's the brush?
What?
It's gone.
What
Brush,
brush?
come back.
What do you mean?
Whoa. All right, Faker's going to get knocked up. The Ignite down very prematurely there as Cad trying to get in range. The taunt was beautiful, and that's collateral damage right there. If ever I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm alive. Pretty textbook.
It's great follow-up on just recognizing who's got what summoners. They say, you know, you guys might have forgotten it, but 3 minutes earlier, he flashed to try to get Dudu to flash. T1 didn't follow up on getting that summoner out of Kale, but Hanwha Life followed up on Faker losing his own flash as Galio can lock you down for so long.
Yep. Well, there's the Devour doing some work there as the quickness comes in. Teleport does come out as Battle Dance used by Effort, but he's still down. Pretty low on health. There's the flash forward. Oh, the taunt max range, but the showstopper should be able to save him. Oh, it barely does. As the arrow does snipe him out, but the Galio is going to get punished. And there's Shelly in the bottom lane as well because she sensed a party and she wants to join. Dudu down here, but only level 9. Wants level 11 before you really start getting strong. And there we go. Charge going to happen. And a bunch of extra gold over to Cuz.
Just gonna gobble that up, feel pretty happy about himself. Faker, he didn't have teleport, he's just pushing, just trying to reclaim his lane after Galio made his way down to the bottom side with this teleport gank that didn't quite pan out. It was nearly the arrow snipe, which we don't often see here.
Yeah, for the kill. I like it.
The executioner's arrow, if you will. But didn't quite pan out that time around. And it was okay, we're going to take a look at this first. Faker, just too aggressive with no flash. I mean, he didn't see Cad, but he doesn't have, I suppose he had decent vision, but at the same time.
나이스. 예, 좀 갈렸다.
Nice.
아, 이거 갈리면 내가 1대1 할게.
언제까지 시드로 괴롭힐 거야?
한 푸시 할게. 아, 침착하고.
이거 아래 조심해.
How long are you gonna bully me with shield? Okay, we got that real-time translation.
That's real cute. As Vibrant Lens, this was their little escapade towards the bottom side as Mirror obviously feeling something.
Viper autoed Teddy once. And if he had hit Effort instead, he would have died.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can never calculate that really, but you got to be careful, you know. You got to make sure all your autos are falling in the right spot.
Hindsight is a little bit more 2020.
For sure.
But that's Teddy. Featherstorm back available relatively soon. Sort of does help you out against the arrow that can fly forward. Keep that aggression up whilst going untargetable. Certainly feels good. Steady clears out these little Krugs and will now defend his lane. Turret plates fell down 50 seconds ago, and so Viper's not able to find too much. And yeah, 7 extra turret plates going over to T1. That's why you can see a 1,000 gold lead. Not to mention 2 Drakes being picked up here in 50 seconds. We will have our third, a very early Ocean Soul possibility here for T1. If Hanwha Life don't stop them from freely taking the Ocean Drake, you'd imagine that they will definitely be in the market for trying to do that.
Yeah. I mean, you consider late game for both teams. T1's late game is not bad, but when you're going up against Kale, Graves, Ashe, I think that team is more often than not going to be better in the late game. So Hanwha Life, they have this added pressure because they have to handle Ocean Soul, because even if your team is great in the super late game, you're going up against a team in the mid to late game who has Ocean Soul. You're not really going to win if T1 is playing their cards right. So, as you mentioned, that's really going to be the main focal point for both teams to handle. T1 would love to just roll straight into Ocean Soul really quickly.
Oh, arrow's going to land here onto Cuz. He will have a whole bunch of grip built up, so that Haymaker is going to hurt. They do wait it out, though, as there's the heroic entrance. For some reason.
Yeah, it was kind of like, let me teleport over here or something. Didn't really help in the engage.
I guess so. Maybe they were assuming that T1 were going to go further forward. They've corralled them, though, have T1. Canna makes his way into the mid lane, like you say. Dudu's on the top side. He's singing a song to himself, having a good time. He's going to be able to take that one down, but that's going to mean Soul Point goes over to T1. And I think they're very happy to give up a top outer turret in order to secure that. It's Hanwha Life thinking about taking down Shirley. I'm glad Shelly and Shirley stuck around. MSC, we lost Agatha and Bertha. Now we have Grompulus and Gromtilda.
The full names.
Yeah, I just give them shorter ones.
Yeah. Gromp and Gromp are my... that's usually what I like to go for.
Oh my goodness, what is that? There's no respect given. It reminds me of Sir Thomas Kench and then Timothy Kenchins. You know?
Yeah. Just Timmy.
Yep.
Timmy K.
I like Timothy Kenchins, you know.
Yeah. It has attitude, you know.
Yeah. I like giving him that added respect of at least reading out his full name.
Fair enough.
Even if he is a peasant.
We haven't seen him much in recent times. He took a little break. Maybe he was unhappy with our nicknames.
Yeah.
To practice a little bit and gain his strength back. Effort is going for a little walk here.
Yeah, we'll find himself a Kale. He gets pinged immediately, and we'll back out. Teddy up here towards the top side of the map, just looking to try and finish off that turret, which is pretty low. Viper will take a fair bit of damage from Faker. We are in a lull state, though, guys. That's why we're talking about funny names for Gromps and things like that. As Ardent Sensor is finally built. So Faker took him a couple of games to get there, but does get there as Cuz takes the wrong way round. Haymaker does some work as Viper's going very aggressive. Dudu versus Teddy, and Teddy just explodes it. Okay, ulti at the ready. He's saving his ulti for the death chamber. Interesting.
Yeah, I know we haven't seen Xayah in a long time, but you guys got to remember that her feathers do a lot of damage when there's a lot of them on the ground. That's my professional analysis for you guys right there.
Thank you very much, Valdanalus.
Just underestimating the Xayah damage, and Dudu, I suppose, overestimating his own. It's hard sometimes, the split-second decisions and mechanics you gotta pull off, but these are pros, and we should hold them to a high standard.
Indeed.
Gotta make sure.
I mean, pressing an R button.
Quick on that one.
Pressing an R button, he could have done that at any point. And yeah, Teddy still had his, so I guess maybe that was the problem. He wanted to make sure he got Teddy's ultimate out and then used his in order to take him down. However, he's just going to kill you. Doesn't actually matter. Canna's very close to level 13, and that's going to make Teddy even more scary.
Let's just see. Lines up the feathers really nicely. Yeah.
Interesting. We're back into some action, though. That's going to stop us from having to talk about that ever again.
Yeah, let's shelve that one.
Yep. Forever. That was some doo-doo. We had the
Take it away.
We had the doo-doo dunga in game 2,
and now it's just
doo-doo now.
Oh,
we need the dunga. We need the dunga to come back. And I think that you know, Dudu is the kind of player to get better as the game goes on. Certainly happened in game number 2. We do have a small sample size for what was experienced of Dudu's play.
You know how the collective has their really funny original fake names for when players are not playing well? Well, Dudu's already he's already given them one.
Yeah.
To,
that was not a difficult one for the
very
collective
easy
to come up
for them.
to. Yeah. Still, they did it.
Not a lot of
I'm very proud of you guys.
And then when he pops off, he's Dudu.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Straightforward. As this game might be for T1. I mean, at this point, your Xayah is just massive. And Ocean Drake, Ocean Soul point is on the line here.
In 1 minute, yeah.
1 minute. Cat is, okay. Just going to back away.
Oh, we bought boots twice. No, never mind. That's Viper's items. Earlier Blade of the Ruin King for Viper did okay there, but the Infinity Edge coming in is, that's real scary news, as he is ahead by a lot of gold. And it's going to mean that this Ocean Soul fight is very, very scary. Grand entrance is fantastic. Faces broken everywhere as the showstopper puts Cat into the backline. He flashes, trying to get to safety, and there is a brilliant Devour to make sure he survives. But honestly, I feel like that was the battle that actually lost them the war. Because now positional advantage around this Ocean Drake spawning in 20 seconds is going to entirely belong to T1. Hanwha Life, an opportunity to regroup. But the volleys aren't doing anything. T1 feels like they have Hanwha exactly where they want them. Teddy laying down the feathers. Hens is at half health. Dudu as well, as Faker is landing a lot of poke. In goes the Grand Entrance. Good zoom there onto Effort. As that's a three-man taunt from Miru. Gets the ulti out of Dudu as well, but the stopwatches are there. And look, just watch Teddy auto-attacking.
Oh?
Real scary. But now we're watching him just get murdered. Taken down by the Kale. I am very sorry for jinxing it, as the low health bars, you can understand exactly why he got baited, as Cuz is going to Hex Splash over. Try and take down Cat. Another Grand Entrance, interrupting the Blast Cone. That's the jungler. His teleport back in now from Miru. He still has his heroic entrance available. Canna is pretty tanky, but I don't know whether he's tanky enough. Great ult into the backline there from Faker. Yep, Cuz looks for the Haymaker, but there's the Grand Entrance. Cuz gets the Face Breaker in there. The Inspire Shield is gigantic. And T1 are buying so much time. It's 5 seconds and Teddy is back up again. And now Hanwha have to back away. That was the weirdest fight.
That was really strange, actually. Hanwha did have a fantastic engage onto Teddy, honestly, in the river with the Kale ultimate on top of Galio, who threw himself in there and taunted.
Why is this happening?
But to extend it that far with the Galio TP and then not stick around at least to try to contest the Ocean Soul, because once you lose it, I mean, this is the play I'm thinking of, where Galio gets in the backline with the Kale ultimate. They nearly burst down Teddy entirely, and not as much damage is given the other way, so they reset. And then actually a great play here by Viper where he slows down Teddy, who has pretty much nothing.
He had a bit of a rush of blood to the head, exactly as I was talking about Teddy doing a lot of damage. So,
yeah,
a bit sad.
Cad made a little bit of a oopsie there. He shouldn't be trying to go for the for the plant that slows you down when he doesn't know where the vision is over the wall. And then they try to re-engage here with the Miru re-entrance, but Rakana's a little bit better at that. And then you're thinking, oh man, they're pretty close here. But at the end of the day, they're like, oh, actually, Faker's full health. I guess we all have to back away and give them Ocean Soul. I'm like, I don't know. I think you guys should have at least tried. But as you did mention, Teddy was coming up in 5 seconds.
Well, there's a Grand Entrance. That's a Dead Lens. Face broken. And now the turret is going to suffer the same fate. Meanwhile, picture-in-picture, you may have noticed that Viper and Teddy traded ultimates. And T1 now have Ocean Soul. So maybe it's just game over.
Yes.
As in goes Cuz. Okay. Is he going to stop the show? Are we ever? No, we're not. No show. No stopping the show. No making the hay.
No.
Not doing anything. We're just going to run in and die, I guess. This game's weird.
Yeah.
Still. He likes Hex Splash, I think. I don't know.
It's pretty good on the jungle set, I'll have to say. This is just Hens out of position. Well done by Effort. Able to get in there. Pretty straightforward. And then the follow-up, you can understand what he's going for. He goes behind the wall. He's like, oh, I should be able to get behind Cad here. And he kind of messes up the angle and gets taunted and dies. So, again, another bit of a whoopsie. We've had a bit of those. It's getting late here in Korea. It's about 11:30. Perhaps the players are getting a little bit fatigued as the games come along.
Yeah. And it was a very good taunt. Very good taunt out of Miru as well. So not a lot of options there for Cuz, so I might have been a little bit mean, but still not exactly the play you necessarily need to make. Be a little bit more reserved than that, as Teddy got a bunch of gold. He's 2,000 in the lead, just soaking up more and more farm on this map. And the Baron possibly going to be the next port of call for T1. Elder Drake going to be spawning in 3 minutes' time. They've got Ocean Soul, so you may as well just go for as many fights as possible. Molten Edge completed onto Teddy. And Faker going to go for his Rabbidan's Death Cap as item number 3. And that is just going to mean that he'll do a heck of a lot of extra damage and shielding, more importantly. But then he can also get the best upgrade from the ornament.
So you consider the game state right now. We're at okay. Never mind.
I think Viper's just going to be dead. Quick just comes down. Viper pops like a balloon. Lehens is going to get visited by a big ram that gets quite upset. Cuz gets exhausted, but he doesn't care. Stops the show.
Okay.
And the Xayah is going to take him down. So maybe no Baron required, as Teddy just tanks up this turret in front of a Kayle and isn't able to take it down just yet. But as you can see, with the help of Faker, he'll have all of that health back. And Hanwha Life, not sure what they're going to be able to do here. Collateral damage just to try and take down the minion wave, but they've got a bit of health left on this siege minion, and that's all they need to be able to lock this one down. Counter looks for the knock up through the wall. That was actually pretty cute. Doesn't work though, as Cad is just going to have to walk out of there. They're just ignoring Dudu. It's like he's invisible.
Yeah, he's still 2 levels away.
Mr. Seller Kayle. Fane.
Yeah.
That was a Chicago joke. I don't know whether I'm going to go for one of those again.
Not your audience.
Yeah.
Not the right audience.
Not everyone's a boomer like me.
Yeah. Well,
although the stage show was very recently out, and it was actually quite good. This is Viper dying.
I mean, you don't have vision in your own jungle. You can't be that far up. It's been a while since we've seen Rakan. Maybe he didn't expect that amount of speed to come in, but I mean, he doesn't have flash, and I don't know where Lehens was exactly. He got there a little bit too late. Maybe he was just saying, okay, I have Tahm Kench, I should be fine, but the rapidity with which the Rakan gets in there is a little bit too fast for the slower Tahm Kench to catch up with. And then he gets baited into the fight, he dies. And then Galio gets baited into the fight, he dies. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's the flow-on effect of just disaster mounting on top of disaster. Gold lead's still under 4,000, actually, somehow. As Kayle has been farming very well in these side lanes, and it seems like Cat has still been able to get around and find himself some farm. But I'm looking at this this Xayah. Blast from the past. Of course, you know, this was one of Teddy and Effort's scariest combos that they've ever had together. Not a bad option to go for when they are finally reunited. Did Teddy spend some time with another support? But I want Canada to move over towards Faker, upgrade that hat, and then T1 end the game.
That's the, yeah, that's
Cad
the plan.
might just die. Okay, Battle Dance comes in. That's a phenomenal grand entrance to lock down that kill. And Teddy just walked up to 3 people and killed one of them, and now he has full health as he walks away.
He's pretty fit at this point.
That's 4 people this time. We're upgrading.
Flashed in.
Yep. Faker going to try and lock them down. Effort takes half of his health bar, but is able to get out. The exhaust. Will that stop Teddy? I don't think so. Lehens just gets taken down. Now, Dudu, I don't know. He had the opportunity to ult, decided that that wasn't a good opportunity, and Cuz is trying to show us the power of jungle set as he solos down this Elder Drake. Valdez, I hazard to say, this game's over.
The game has ended. Close up the shops. Close up the doors. I don't think that Hanwha Life are going to be able to stop this massive push of Elder and Baron. We talked about their late game potential, and Kayle is close to 16. But is that enough to hold off this amount of value? I don't believe so.
Oh my god, he called the flash.
Okay.
I don't know whether he meant that, but it was cool.
I think he did.
All right, write down that pog. Write down that pog for me on your sheet.
Yeah,
yep, there you go.
No.
Yeah, perfect. Nailed it. He's
not this game. I can give my check mark to Teddy already.
Yeah, that's true. I think you can actually feel free to write that down.
Yeah, actually, I will.
Yeah. Although Canna did just give Faker a really cool hat.
Great.
That was that's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Doing my best LS impression. Great.
Well, T1 are now going to take a Baron for free. Cuz is going to spend some time stopped for a moment.
Okay.
That won't deter him.
Yeah. No, with Elder for a minute and a half longer. You can see that Hanwha Life's only choice is to send Kayle to a solo lane as we got a little level up sign there next to Kale.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, that's because that's a good level up. Now she's ascended. Bit too little too late at this point. Elder Drake's still going to be active for another minute. They use the Elder to move into the Baron, and they'll use that to move into both of these side lanes. Inhibitor dead for another 45 seconds or so. And so that will be coming back up just in time for T1 to roll on down and destroy it again.
Yeah. If I had to take a look at this game and somebody asked me, do you want to take the level 16 Kale with her current items or the level 17 Teddy Xayah with his items, who would you choose? I think the answer is pretty obvious. I don't think that the Kale, it doesn't matter how hyper-scaly of a champion she is, I don't know who would be able to stand up to this Xayah right now.
Especially when his R button seems to be disabled.
Yes.
Now, oh, no, pressed it.
Okay.
Tower, a little bit wasted there as the Ram looks for the Kale. Isn't able to find her. So just as I say it, at least Dudu does keep himself alive with that ulti, but has to use everything. And now, that inhibitor going down, doors have been opened as Cad, I think he was there, not entirely sure, as the Zhonya's is used by Mira. He'll be eaten a little bit later. That's the double kill. This is going to be the triple. Are we going to be able to get the Penta for Teddy? Lahens is going to go golden, buying some time here.
They want
as
to give
Teddy
it to
should
him.
be able to take down
Vajra.
the Tom Kench. Now Viper's just running for the hills. Oh, I think it's the rest of his team, by the way, that's telling him that he needs to get the Penta. And Teddy's just like, nah, I don't really mind.
We're going to lock him down. Wait, no, Teddy. Okay, well, they got the kill at
There we
least.
go. That was Viper's fault, 100% Viper's fault. But T1 will find their first match win of 2020 Summer up against Hanwha Life, able to get some of the demons off their back, to be honest, because Hanwha were definitely more difficult for T1 in the spring season than they should have been. You know, they punch above their weight to Hanwha, and this was definitely a slugfest. But T1 certainly should be very happy to pick up their first win here and get themselves back on track. Because I know there are many T1 fans out there, but also these are our spring champions. This is the team that you know, was a bit disappointing at MSC. We wanted to see them bounce back, and we wanted to see them bounce back strongly.
What's this? What was that?
It's a little cheerful thingy, I guess.
Oh, here.
I don't know. Oh, yeah.
Got to show them my player of the game vote. We saw that the cameraman voted for effort. So production has voted for effort. He had a great game, too.
He actually did. I wouldn't mind if it went to him.
His mid-game engages were extremely clean. And he showed us, hey, remember me? I'm the guy that can play like Rakan, and I do really good engages sometimes. And
what is he now? 14-2 on the champion?
On Rakan?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that what he's at?
I think it was 13-2. They had the stat that came up at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, he's pretty good on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not bad.
I mean, when Rakan came into the meta, it was a time where, you know, T1 were doing a fair bit of winning. It wasn't, I think it was, 2019, early 20...
Maybe 2018.
Was it 2018? Because that would have been really bad.
End of 2018.
Yeah, so if it's end of 2018, then that feels a little bit better.
They came in with Xayah. I think it was like end of 2018.
End of 2018.
2019 was when the actual meta happened, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard. My old boomer brain here after 7 hours on the broadcast has proceeded to melt just a little bit. But we did have some really good games, Valdanelis.
For sure.
Glad that you went the
distance.
distance alongside me, you know, and we will be back for our final day of summer for 2020 week 1 tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you meant the whole summer.
It's over. We just do 1 week, and then we wait for Worlds.
Imagine that was like the way it went, and leagues weren't a thing. It was like just a weekend tournament.
Yep.
That was the end of it.
Just do 1 week.
We declared T1 the winner.
Yeah, and there's 10 teams, and they don't even all play each other.
Yeah, no.
It's just, you just got a few.
This team seemed like the best, so we're going to send them to the
Yes. It's like
in that case, we're sending the RX.
It's a judgment-based system.
So,
yeah, that was Teddy killing Kale.
Yeah, that was Teddy killing Kale. And Teddy had many highlights, Effort had many highlights. If I had my way, I would just give them both POG. I gave it to Teddy. I feel like he had more pop-off individual moments. Not to take anything away from Effort, who also had an insane amount of individual pop-off moments. And so
This
the two of
certainly
them
being
just
one of them, right?
carried the team together and did a great job in that.
I think Cuz also deserves a mention for being probably one of our most successful set jungles that we've seen for a really long time. Faker was clutch right here as Cuz decides he wants to go back in. And Faker's like, I got you, brother. Don't you worry. As, yep, down to about 100 health. And then Faker comes in with a few charges on that Athene's Unholy Grail. And boosts him right back up again. But yeah, it is feeling a little bit like the effort highlight reel.
I mean, there was a lot of Teddy highlights, to be honest, earlier on. And now that was like Lahen's getting out of position. I want to see Efforts play onto Viper. I feel like that was his best moment, where he's like, hey, remember what Rakan can do exactly. The angle is perfect. The engage is stellar. And he baits the entirety of Hanwha Life's team into the fight, gets 3 of them. There you go.
Yeah. And actually looking at that cosplay again, Mira's taunt timing was absolutely perfect. It was actually right before he pressed the showstopper button and died within that moment. So really, really clean. However, not enough to actually get them a win, because this is when Teddy decided that he's just more than happy to walk up to 4 people.
Yeah.
He's just that fed.
After these highlights, before it I wasn't 100% sure, but I stand by my vote of Teddy.
Yep.
As we're gonna listen in.
안 죽어 안 죽어. 난 뺄게.
It's not dying. It's not dying.
야, 잘 끝내 잘 끝내. 펜타야?
Penta.
안 된다 안 된다.
I think it's Kana who's saying that.
되는데?
Yeah.
야, 잡아야 돼, 잡아야 돼.
It's like, I think we can get it. I think it's Penta.
시간 많아, 시간 많아.
I think it's Penta time.
아야 빨리
원래
잡아 그냥
아,
그냥 끝내. 아야 잡아.
Teddy's like, get him, please.
하이퍼 선생님.
Yeah, he screamed, I think it was Viper, Teacher Viper or something, Viper Sun's name.
Yeah.
And he went down as he screamed it, so there you go. That's
Only
a pretty
the
big
quadrant.
number.
Yeah, he did a lot of damage.
Over 1,000.
Yeah. Pretty ludicrous, actually. He did over 20,000 more than his lane opposition, who did the second highest damage on his team.
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
I'm not sure about that Ashe in that comp.
I mean,
No?
I don't. Yeah, I thought
They had some
theoretically
decent pick, but like, I don't know.
they picked
They
it,
have to wait for late game.
and
all
they
the
picked
time.
it super early as well. What they could have potentially done was picked it 3rd on red side, and let T1 actually pick the Callista first, and then gone from there. It's a possibility. Instead, they pick it face up. So, not entirely sure, but we are going to see that it's Effort that picks up player of the game. We'll see how silly the Valve analyst looks with his Teddy vote, but honestly, kill participation at 15 minutes at 100%. This guy was all over the map. Didn't die once as Rakan, which is huge. Actually, don't know how many times you see that, because Rakan's so squishy and so engagey that it is very hard to keep yourself alive all game, but Effort did it.
Yeah, I mean, his Rakan is really flashy. He's a great Rakan player, but I feel like the majority of his picks in this game specifically were taking advantage of the enemy's bad positioning and shutting them down and really facilitating his team to do the majority of the damage. So nicely done by him this time around, as this is another Efforts highlight that Teddy got it going. It was kind of like the two of them were just playing so well together.
Yeah,
that's why they both just looked fantastic in this game.
It was an I miss you victory.
It really was, you know?
It was beautiful.
Teddy looked good with Curry, but then the second Effort comes in, he's like next level.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm home.
Yeah.
It was very, very clean stuff. And of course, Xayah Rakan, a notable duo, you know, lore-wise.
Sure.
So it's fitting that when Effort comes back, the band is brought back together and they play just like that. Absolutely amazing stuff. So really clean from T1. Probably would have wanted a 2-0 here tonight. However, a win is a win. And they're going to be able to even things out. And I believe we've got an interview coming up very, very shortly. And we are going to be able to have a chat to T1 after what was, you know, a less successful week 1 than maybe they were expecting.
Yeah, I think it definitely could have been cleaner, but losing to DRX, I think, is there's no shame in that right now. They're looking really good, so hopefully they can move on from here and continue to do well let's hear from Effort and Faker.
감사합니다.
네.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Season with the Universe Translation, and we'll be hearing from Effort, Teddy, Effort and Faker from T1.
첫 승을 했는데 지난 경기
Yeah, this is our first
아쉽게
win.
져가지고
Well, sadly,
오늘
we
이승을
dropped
못한
the
게
series last
뭔가 좀
time, so.
이기고 나니까 아쉬움이 남는 것
Well,
같아요.
it's a little bit sad that we are not at 2 win stack so far.
교체 투입으로 좋은 모습 보인
And Effort, you subbed in a very decisive moment. Yeah, I subbed in game number 3, then I was able to get a win to secure the first win of the summer split. Yeah, we were a little bit surprised to see Curry starting game today. What was the plan in subbing in as a starter?
아무래도 제가 좀 저번 DRX
Well, in the last DRX series, I made some mistakes.
그래서 좀 쿠리 선수를
So we wanted to try Curry this time.
약간의 뭐 또 책임 부분도 있을 것 같긴 하네요. 네. 자 페이커 일단은 하나 생명이
Faker,
두두 뭐
Hanwha Life, they tried a new roster filled with rookie players, Dudu, Cat, and Miru.
일단 처음 출전한 선수들이다 보니까
Well, they are new players,
경기에서 긴장을 한 듯한
so I could
모습
tell
많이
that they were a
보여드렸고
bit
되게
nervous throughout the game.
좀 신인답게 플레이를
And
하는 걸 보고
I saw them
되게
playing
제가
as
처음에
rookie players,
했을 때가 좀
so
생각나요.
that kind of reminded me of my rookie years as well.
잃을 게 별로 없거든요. 예.
I mean,
저는 그 신예지랑 붙으면
Faker, yeah, I mean, he has nothing to lose. But do you feel like nervous going against the rookie players, or do you feel extra confident or comfortable against them?
맞대결을 딱 하게 되면 데뷔전하는 선수들 보면 어때요?
How do you feel seeing the rookie players having their debut games?
고인물 선수들이랑
I mean, it
비슷하게
doesn't matter
상대하기
whether
때문에
it's a rookie or whether it's a veteran.
그냥 평범 뭐 평소처럼 했던 것 같아요.
Just as usual.
두지 않는다. 네.
정답입니다. 네.
네, 그래서 먼저 일단 1세트에서 정말 완벽에 가까운
Let's go back to
운동을
game
보여주면서
number 1.
승리했었는데 그 중심
T1 pulled off a perfect macro, and the core was the B1 Twisted Fate.
픽으로까지 자신감 있게 나오긴 쉽지 않아.
It's not an easy pick to go blind
상대팀이
pick.
일단 신인 선수들도 많고
There were a lot of
되게,
rookie players
그런
on the
운영에
Hanwha side,
할 거라고 생각을 해서
and we
그런
thought that they will be
것도
weak
있습니다.
in terms of macros.
아, 네. 저는 또 에포트 선수.
그렇다면 그럴 줄 알았어요.
And Woded has a question over to
오랜만에
Effort.
자야 라칸이 나왔잖아요.
네.
요즘
Zaya
또
Rakan,
메타
going
맞게
back to the old
다양한
days.
챔피언들이 쓰이고 있는데
So that was a bit of an off-meta pick. So what was the reason for using those comp?
원거리 딜러 벤이 좀 많이 된 상태여서
We had a lot of ADC ban today.
자야라칸이 조금 좀
So
위치어에
Zaya and Rakan was able to climb up the ladder.
선수가 나왔으니까 이 미드 구도에 대해서 하나 여쭤보고 싶었던 게
I have a question about the mid matchup. Syndra is getting a lot of highlights right now, just like Ezreal in the bottom lane. So as a very famous Syndra master, I mean, you even got a skin for this champion. So what's your thought on this
저
champion?
같은 경우에는 저도 상황이 맞는다면
I mean, if I have a right situation, I can always use it.
저는 LCK 미드라이너들도
In LCK, I mean,
잘 쓰는데 그냥
there are a lot of mid laners that they are good at
사용할 수 있을 거라고
Syndra. So whenever we have a right situation, we will be able to watch a really good Syndra game. Just we have to hold on to it.
죄송하지만 그 두 번째 경기.
I also want to ask you about game number 2, that backdoor loss. And also some of the critics were mentioning the karma itemization. It was a full damage build, but after losing that game, like what kind of feedback did you guys have about, especially about the itemization?
겉보기에는 극대 템트리라고 볼 수
I mean,
있는데
it might have looked like a full
효율적인 템트리라고
damage
생각을
temp
해서
item build, but I thought that was the most efficient one. But it was just us making too many mistakes.
효율적인 그 극딜이라고 볼 수 있지만
I guess that was a very efficient damage build, but can you be more specific about it?
일단 쿨타임 감소 면에서도 그렇고
Well, in terms of
일단
cooldown reduction
구분력 면에서도 그렇고
and also about the AP,
트랙이라고 생각했어요.
so I thought that was a nice choice.
분명히 또 의미가 있는 템트리였습니다.
그래서 뭐 약간 가벼운 질문으로 넘어가면
So I also want to ask you about the collab ad, you know, the commercial, like K-pop star, especially the lines.
선수들끼리 바라보기에 와 제일 완벽했다, 너무 좋았다.
Which one was the perfect one?
저희 사이에서는 이제 칸나 선수의
The player thinks that
오늘 내 컬러
the Kanna's line,
컬러로 말하기가 좀 인기가 있어요.
the how do I feel today? Let me tell you in colors. That was the Kanna's quote.
저는 광고를 못 봐가지고
Faker.
어떤 게
I haven't seen the commercial yet, so I cannot really choose one. And Faker's line was, "Can you turn up the lights because I want to see my
안
Rams."
봤더라도 본인의 멘트는 기억하죠?
But you still remember your
네,
quote,
네.
right?
멘트 예, 이거 좀
Can you give it a go here?
네, 죄송합니다. 네. 네, 제가 질문을 접겠습니다. 네, 네. 자, 광고까지 찍으면서 진짜
So with that
화제가 되는 T1 아니겠습니까?
commercial going viral,
첫 주차를
T1 is on a
마무리한
good ride.
자,
So
사실
you
이제
guys have to
그거 한번
face
일찍
Africa next week. How are we going to prepare for that?
지금 아프리카가 기세가 좋은데
Africa,
저희가
they are having a huge momentum.
이번 시즌 정규 시즌을 좀 1등을 목표로
However,
하고
our
있는데
goal for the split is hitting the first place of the regular split.
꺾도록
So
네.
I will make sure to stop their winning streak and stack
어,
our win
저희가
streak.
아직 경기력이 다 가다듬어진 것 같지 않아서 다음
I believe our
경기에는 좀 더 많이
performance is
보완해서
not
좋은
as
모습으로
clean as
보여드리도록
Whistle, so we will try to improve ourselves and come back stronger next week. So this will be the end of the interview with Effort, Faker from T1, and I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jisun, as usual, for the interview translation and for sticking around for such a long day. It is almost midnight here at Lol Park.
Yeah.
But we made it. We had some pretty interesting games so far today. A long series between Team Dynamics and Africa that Africa were able to reverse sweep, if you can say that, in a best-of-3. And then T1 being able to right the ship after a shaky Game 2 against Hanwha Life. Now find themselves on the board, but uncharacteristically, on the eastern side of the standings.
Yeah, I think T1 are going to be okay. We've seen that they have the ability to sub in guys like Kuri, who actually looked pretty good today. I saw his play. It wasn't perfect. I still think Effort is better, but it shows that they have some flexibility in their lineup. The second game draft was a little bit wonky, but I don't totally fault them for it. They were trying something new, and we're going to take a look at the next matchups here. KT up against Gen G, and then Solewon Prince up against Damwon Gaming. You're going to be casting that one tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be really interesting. I'm going to be joined by Woodid for this, and Gen G certainly didn't look so good against DRX, and now it's KT, who are no slouches, but they had a worrisome time as well against Team Dynamics, if I'm not mistaken.
Think so.
And now Damwon will be able to see whether they're going to keep their win streak alive or whether it's going to be Solewon that's going to be able to do exactly the same thing. So some exciting ones for our last match of the week, but that will be tomorrow. For now, good night.
World has changed and I am ready to take it on. You told me to be myself and never feel